Hey there guys, what's up? It's your buddy mikeyperion here, and I hope you have a great day because for today I wanted to show you guys our very first redstone tutorial in our channel. Well, I know I'm not a redstone guy, but there is something that is worth sharing with you guys. Well, I actually discovered this while prepping up for an episode. So, well, I've done this by accident. I was actually only trying to make a very simple redstone gate design, but eventually it turned out to something like this, which is pretty far from what I expected. So I made a piston door design that is 4 block high with modular design, so we can actually call this the modular piston door. Well, as you can see, this piston door can go as long as you want and as much as you can, and it works pretty seamless and very neat and very compact and very easy to build. Although there are 1 block gap in some parts in order to extend the redstone signal, but nonetheless, this can be extended infinitely. This is actually something like 4 by to infinity piston door, which is somehow pretty awesome, right? But anyway, so also this design can be angled going to the left or to right whenever you wanted to go, which adds to the flexibility of this design. And also you can also use illuminating and transparent blocks at least on the midsection of this piston door, and you can also use some glass panes, even some fences and iron bars in order to have some flexibility in terms of like decorating this piston door, right? Well, so I think this design is very cool. Well, that's why I made this video. Well, we are not actually starting a redstone tutorial series, but from time to time, whenever I discovered something worth sharing, well, I'll just post it here in our YouTube channel, right? But of course, but anyways, without further ado, let's start with the tutorial. So this piston door comes with 3 main parts. So basically on the lower part, we got the upward double block extender mechanism, which retracts and extends the 2 lower blocks in our door section that goes on the same movement all throughout. And on this side right over here, we got the sequential mechanism, which also connects the upper part extenders and the lower part extenders and creates the sequence for our piston to retract and extends accordingly, so the blocks will move in its proper timing. And on the top section right over here, we got the downward double block extender mechanism, which retracts and extends the 2 upper blocks in our door. So those are the 3 main parts, and let's start remaking this. So we need a 5 block wide space for this piston door. Since this is a modular piston door, we only need 1 by 5 for each module, and also a 3 by 5 for the sequential mechanism. So on this tutorial, we are going to make 5 modules so that I can show you guys on how we are going to build this properly. So first, we need this double piston extender. So first action that we need is to retract the first piston by connecting the first or the upper piston into this observer. So basically, this will go all the same for each module. So let's place this on this direction. And as well as we also need to connect this here on this side, on this front side, with a redstone line. So this can also be extended all throughout. And the next thing that we have to do is to retract the first block that we have retracted on this part with this piston right over here. So the first block should go on this side in order to store it, and we're able to do the double extender block retraction that will retract the middle or the lower middle block that we have in our doors. So let's place the pistons on this direction so it will just go all the same. And the last thing that we have to do is to extend the piston door in the lower part right over here in order to retrieve the lower middle block that we have in the piston door. So take note that this has to be in 4 ticks, and we also need to connect this with some redstone line on this side right over here. So well, we're done with the upward double block extender mechanism. And the next thing that we have to do is to connect the front part to the back part right over here. So let's place a block right over here with the redstone dust on the top part and 2 observers next to each other on this direction that will create the proper timing for these pistons to move, and as well as connect that with redstone dust in the block on the top. And this is actually already complete, so let's place it 2 blocks right over here just to test this out. So let's place a lever right over here in order to toggle this door. So let's toggle this, so this will actually retract these two blocks on this formation, and as well as put it back in place where it actually belongs. So the next thing that we have to do is to connect the lower part to the upper part of this piston door. So basically, we just need to connect it with some redstone lines. So first, let's place some wall on this side right over here. So at least we can easily put up the half slabs that will contain the redstone dust on top of it. So basically, let's start over here. So let's place 2 blocks going in this formation, and let's place some half slabs in order to connect it further up. And on the top part right over here is basically the connection. So we have to place a repeater in 4 ticks on this part right over here, and let's connect it with redstone line going down back here, and basically that is our connection to the upper part. And now it's time to place the upper part of this piston door. So basically this is the double block extender downwards. So basically it will retract the top part or the top blocks that we have in our piston door. So first, let's have some observers on this direction and connected with the redstone line on the front part right over here. So basically this is this will retract the first retract and extend the first piston, and we also need to move the block on the side. So basically we will just basically do the same. So this block will do the job in order to store the first block or the topmost block on the side right over here, and we also need to connect this with some observers on this side and the redstone line on the top part right over here. So basically it's pretty much the same as what we have done in the bottom part, but this one is basically flipped vertically, so we're just doing it on downward orientation. So now it's time to place the double piston on this direction. So we will have 2 pistons on this manner that will do the double block extender or double block what you call this double piston extender that will retract the middle upper part of this piston door. So also 4 ticks on this repeater. So basically that's done, and the last thing that we have to do is to retract another one. So basically we'll make another observer facing on this direction right over here. So it should no, it should be on this orientation. So we have to place the observers on this manner. So basically it should trigger the same redstone line that will have the last retraction that we have in order to retract the last block that we have in the middle. And the last thing that we have to do is the sequential mechanism for this upper part of this piston door. So basically we have to trigger first this line right over here. So with the observer facing in this manner, in order to trigger that observer, we are going to place a regular piston on the top of this block right over here in order to trigger this observer. And as well as, of course, we also need to connect this observer on the back part right over here. So let's remove this temporary block. So same thing, we also need to put 2 observers on this manner, and as well as a block, 2 blocks with redstone dust on top of it. So basically this will trigger on the back part right over here with the proper timing. And the last thing that we have to trigger is this redstone line right over here. So this has to be only done during retraction and not on extension. So basically it has to be only one time. So what we need to do is to put another observer. So basically we also need to keep this away from that redstone line over there in order to have this a separate redstone signal. So we have to place a sticky piston on this side that will hold an observer that will be only triggered during what they call this extension. Yeah, no, it should be retraction. So it only has to be on retraction. So basically this redstone line will only be activated once in the whole process. So basically we also need to connect this on this part. So well, let me double check. Yeah, so we have to place a block right over there and the observer next to the sticky piston. So let's place our observer on this direction, and this has to be triggered by this block right over here. So basically once the block, once the piston extended, that this observer will create 1 tick that will trigger this top part right over here. So basically we also need to connect this on this part right over here. So we have to place some repeaters in 4 ticks for both of the repeaters, so that will do the last job, and it's actually done. So now it's time to test this bad boy right over here. So well, let's place some blocks for the actual door that we have. So this has to be 4 block high. Well, you can actually extend this as much as you can. That's why this is like a modular piston door. So let's test this out, and it should work properly. As you can see, all of those blocks has been retracted on this manner. It will you can also hide this. So first, let's place some blocks on this front part right over here, so at least we can hide all of these ugly piston parts or ugly redstone parts. So we can also do some half slabs on the back part right over here if you want to hide these piston on the upper part and the lower part. So basically, well, this is just for cosmetics purpose only, and well, it should work the same, and well, that's it. It works pretty fine, right? So these piston doors should work properly in Minecraft 1.14, since I already have converted this world into the latest snapshot. So let's test this out, and it should work properly. But of course, the FPS is not that good because the game is not yet optimized. But anyways, that's fine. That's fine. So at least it worked properly in Minecraft 1.14. So about the extension, you also need to add some repeaters. So basically, 3 repeaters on the side, 1, 2, and 3 on the top part, and as well as on the back side right over here, we got 2 repeaters that should extend these redstone lines on the back part. So well, you need 5 repeaters in order to extend the redstone signal, and as well as for the angled part, if you want to have it angled, you also need to extend this using 2 repeaters right after the one module and another one before a module. So basically, this should give the same redstone timing in order to have the proper timing for each module that you're going to extend on this part. But anyway, so that's already done, and we're done. And this world will be available for download. Please check the link in the description below. It will be available for Minecraft 1.13.2, but you can also convert it into different versions if you needed it to be converted. But anyway, so well, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, please leave a like it, make sure to subscribe. This has been mikeyperion, and I'll see you guys next time.